Bills Mafia 27 with the last one here. Tyler Bass has to be elite this year, or else we should look for a new kicker this offseason. Fully agree.
100%.
I think that there's an argument that could have been made that the Bills could have been aggressive looking for a kicker this year, but Luka and I pointed out pretty early in the offseason process that contractually speaking, in an offseason where the Bills really had to count every penny, they would have had to take such a loss on that contract that you would have to be almost positive that this kicker was better than Bass to make that move. But I'm with you. To me, it's not just about like baseline kicking. I need you to be top 5 in the league, multiple high leverage kicks. We all saw what Harrison Butker did in the stadium in the playoffs, drilling 50-yard field goals like it was nothing. And then our guy, sails one wide right when the game's on the line. I need Tyler Bass, who it even feels like the makes it kind of like Luka described the wins at the end of the Bills year, where it's like you won, but it didn't feel right. Like, okay, you really needed like a last second field goal to beat Easton Stick. It felt like every time Tyler Bass made a kick, it was just kind of like inching in the upright. I want to see him get back to some consistency. I'm fully aware that he kicks in some of the hardest elements in the sport, but he's making a pretty penny to be one of the highest paid kickers in the sport. And the Bills certainly value points, and they need to get back to feeling like they have an automatic 3 points every time they send them out there, because they have a unicorn at quarterback. And when you send your kicker out, you're taking the ball out of your quarterback's hands, and it's got to mean something. You don't want to Mike Vanderjagt your situation where you're taking an elite offense off the field and the kick goes into the utility tent instead of through the uprights.
Burying the reason Peyton Manning doesn't have even more Super Bowls.
Yes.
Yeah, the image that is always in my head with Bass is not actually him following the Kansas City wide right. It's actually when I was in the stands for the Giants Sunday night game and watching him at halftime warm up and miss every single kick. And I was like, oh no. Like,
you texted me when that was happening and I got so nervous. I was like I want to tweet this out, or
like, I mean, he's missing 40 yarders. Like, It's like, oh my, his confidence was at an all-time low and it really never seemed to recover. And there's no like actual thing we can look back on and be like, oh, he got, ran into at this date and maybe something happened in his technique and he was recovering ever since. It's like, just something happened psychologically. Something happened. Maybe he did pick up something and no one ever heard of it. But like, that's all I think about. And I need to never see that again. And hopefully, knock on wood, he does become money like he was 2 years ago, where you were singing his praises after you saw him in Detroit. The polar opposite. He was just banging and everything. You had the confidence in the world where you could have turned around and picked up another beer or snack because you knew it was going in. Like, that's where he needs to get back to. If he doesn't get back to that, yes, I'm with Bills Mafia 27. New kicker will be looked at come next offseason.
Funny story. I was in Detroit on Thanksgiving when Tyler Bass nails the game-winning kick for the Bills. I was so confident, Luka, he was going to make the kick that when I'm watching it, I'm on the Bills sidelines, but I'm up higher. So like I can't tell just by watching the ball if it goes through the uprights, right? Like I either have to watch the refs or whatever. I didn't even watch the ball. I watched Tyler Bass kick the ball, and I just watched him because I wanted to watch him celebrate. I knew it was going in, so I wanted to watch him, make sure it's not blocked. But once it cleared the offense, I was like, I just want to see his reaction. And of course, he starts jumping around, and it's great. But yeah, I miss those days. And Tyler Bass has missed some pretty easy kicks, and it's time to get back to being reliable, because those in a game of inches, in a situation where we've seen the Bills lose by an eyelash. And I mean, look no further than their last playoff loss. You can't have kickers missing kicks. You just can't, especially the makeable ones. And Tyler Bass, you even think back to the 2020 AFC Championship game. The Bills go up 10-0 right away, but then it's only 9-0 because he misses an extra point.
Yep.
And just that, like, is that a huge difference at that point in the game? No, but like, this crowd has been waiting all day, drinking, partying to see their Chiefs go to the Super Bowl. And right off the bat, it's like Bills drive down for a field goal, fumble, Bills drive down for a touchdown. And it's like they are just looking for anything to cheer about. And the kick goes and you miss an extra point. And it's like momentum's back in the stadium.
You gave them the, okay, there's something.
Yeah. And now Mahomes gets the ball back and like, F this.